Hi, I'm John,
And I'm Eric.
and we are proud affiliates of the You Run Podcast Network.
Head on over to yourunpodcast.com to check out all of our content, all of our affiliates' content, and so much more.
See y'all there. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another riveting edition of Under the Floorboards, where we laugh at the creatures that go bump in the night. I am your host, John, joined as always by my beautiful co-host, Eric. How are you this week?
Fabulous!
And why is that?
This movie's gay.
Gay!
This movie's fucking gay.
Welcome to Under the Floorboards, where it's always pre-screener season.
And it's always gay season, too.
It is. It is not just exclusive to June.
No. We perennial.
Oh, you're one of them perennial gays.
Yeah.
So we are here to talk about the long anticipated film for us, Meat.
Meat, madam, meat.
And oh my God, was it worth the wait?
There's a lot to love about this one.
Yeah.
It is good shit.
So it's a pre-screener episode, so obviously we won't be doing any spoilers. However, there is plenty that we...
Felt like Melon Lord there for a second.
Landlord.
Yeah, we can't spoil shit, but we want to. When the movie comes out, I want to do a full fucking like 100-minute version of this episode because it is worth like
which I'm sure Roger would definitely come back for.
Yes.
So for those, just a little bit of context, Meat is an independent slasher film that revolves around the LGBT community.
Yeah.
Which is really cool how much queer horror we're getting out of this. I know that there is the stance that horror is inherently queer, and I don't disagree with that at all, but I like how overt some of it is becoming, and it's not underlying themes. It's like
we can be more intentional.
Right. And it's gonna make it so we can get to a point where people just call it a movie. It's not just a gay movie.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
right now it is important to say that this is a gay horror movie, and that's fucking awesome.
It's rad.
There's no like token gay that gets killed off because they're all get killed off. But this movie has a radical cast, incredible editing.
The soundtrack.
The soundtrack is like, it's how'd you describe it earlier?
I literally turned to you and I said, K-pop demon hunters can get fucked. I was over here like just like all like the whole movie. I felt it in my DNA. I could not dance.
He actually started levitating.
I did
at one point.
I ascended.
Fucking wild.
I ascended.
Like,
much to my surprise.
His veins start changing colors. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah, and it was sick. The lighting, the club atmosphere, like throughout the whole thing, like refusing to get away from like the overt like neon color palette that this has, you know, constantly in a state of like showmanship and things like really beautiful. I mean, like not in a, you know, not this is going to be so hard to like not make this like the running theme of this movie, but like not even in like an overtly gay way. Like it was just like gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
it wasn't like flamboyant. It was just pretty. Like there was a scene at the very beginning of the movie where I turned to you and I was like, dude, the lighting in this is insane.
Before we get too much in, because it's gonna be so easy to slip into this. I would love
slip into this.
Yeah, we're going in raw. That's the quote for the film.
Put it on the poster.
And when it was so funny when we were interviewing Roger. It was just so funny to me that he was like, if people don't understand that it's a gay movie when it's called Meat, and the quote on the front is "We're going in raw."
Yeah. It's
sorry. This time he's going in raw.
That's because sometimes contraceptives do, you know. Yeah.
That's actually one of my favorite lines in the whole movie, because two of the characters are like in the gym and he's talking about how swole he's about to get his friend, and he's just like, by the time I'm done with you, every man out there is gonna fucking impregnate you.
Bring that anaconda. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's go.
I do want to give you guys the synopsis if you have not heard anything about this yet. These are totally spoiler free. The summary is actually up on IMDb, which you can go and check out whenever you have the opportunity. But the summary is after a night of drugs and debauchery results in a fatal overdose of an underage gay man, an innocent bystander is left to take the blame. Upon his release from prison, the guilty party becomes the focus of an eccentric killer's revenge. And I gotta tell you, when we talked to Roger, he was very much obviously influenced by slashers. This is a slasher film,
Yeah.
and I love the who done it. And I will tell you guys right now, I was wrong.
Neither of us were right.
Yeah,
We both were like, I think it's this person. I thought Roger said a little about, nope.
between the both of us
Nope.
missing the mark on that
Is normally very weird.
Hi everyone, I'm John.
And I'm Eric.
And we wanted to take this opportunity to talk to you about the Dewey Pod Monster Podcast, an affiliate of the You Run Podcast Network.
The Dewey Pod Monster Podcast is a weekly podcast about consumption. It's a lot about movies, but it's actually about consumption.
Hosted by John and Sean, the Dewey Pod Monster Podcast talks about beer, movies, spirits, shows, and absolutely everything else. Nothing is off limits.
You can support them by heading over to Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, or any of the other usual platforms where podcasts can be found.
You guys rock.
Especially because when it's revealed, it's like, oh, yeah,
Oh,
obviously.
Yeah. I actually knew the whole time.
Obviously, it was, yeah.
Well, yeah, I do want to talk about the lighting for a minute because that was one of the first things that we noticed. And like you're saying, like a lot of these club scenes,
Yeah.
I feel like in like if you put it on paper, it feels like it's very obvious. Like of course that's an easy one to light and this, that, and the other, but it's not because the color grading that goes into that too, and knowing the type of lights that you need to hit, where they're hitting on their faces, and how to
what are they
accent
wearing?
that.
What's their skin tone? Things like,
Right.
this, that, and the third. It created this like palette. Like this would be really pretty in like the still frame kind of thing that they do for movies that they turn into like watercolors. Have you ever seen those? You know what I mean? Like I would love to see
Like the rotoscope kind of thing.
and not even
like,
really like concept art either, but just like those, kind of highly saturated. Like there's a lot of really beautiful shots in this movie, and that the lighting really, combined with the cinematography is something to behold for sure.
No, 100%. And what I really like about it is it doesn't feel like it's just in those scenes. Where like the club scenes and like some of the more eccentric areas that you do get to visit in the film feel like they have a lot more color palette play. But when you go to like there's surprise surprise someone dies in the slasher, and there's a funeral at one point, and I noticed even the lighting that they had like during middle of the fucking day was still like accenting people's faces, and like nothing ever looked flat or weird or anything like that. And I was like, I feel like the rainbow does belong to the gays.
Yeah.
Like they understand color better than I
100%. And that kind of piggybacking off of that, talking about like costume design. I mean, we'll get into like the killer's costume design for sure, but like just what people were wearing was very like those are beautiful garments, and I like that there's a lot. You can edit this out if this is a light spoiler or whatever, but I like that there is a.
Don't worry, I'm sending this to Roger before.
Okay, cool.
Actually,
I like that there is a plot vehicle that has to do with the fashion industry. Because it's like all of these people would be like directly or like indirectly involved with this in some way or another, right? That they would be like kind of wearing stuff that nobody else was wearing at the time, or like I'm into this. This is really me expressing myself and that kind of thing. I liked the people in drag looked great. I like the way that was handled very, obviously like respectfully and that kind of thing. But it was also one of those like I love drag shows anyway.
Oh
Just
yeah,
like
drag shows are
just
awesome.
like personally, and I love like those like personalities and those personas coming through and that kind of, and just seeing it like you're talking about in the scenes where it would make sense for somebody to dress up, but even when we're just like at the gym,
Right.
right? Like there's a lot of eccentricity and a lot of like personality that's coming through the wardrobe design, the costume design, and things like that too. That's again very colorful, very rainbow. you know,
Well, and it kind of helps keep the movie feeling dynamic,
yeah,
right? And like I
and fun,
yeah,
and it's never taken itself too seriously.
no. And well, and that's the thing too. And I message just speaking of, taking yourself too seriously. Like I messaged Roger after this, and I one of the things that I thought was really cool about this movie, and I think it's because I'm not a bigoted, blinded piece of shit, but
Yeah,
like I feel like when you like as a straight guy watching a movie like this, there were a handful of times where I kind of felt the subtleties that he was trying to like push through from the community, because it is very like all of the or most of the characters are very, actually all the characters are dynamic, but there are some that are like the party and plays like you would expect, but then there's a lot of them that are like, what I don't know what dumb people call it, I guess, like normal gay.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like straight passing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like it's
yeah.
crazy that people can have a sexual orientation but like
And
different
and
personalities.
have like preferences in what they would wear. Like I wouldn't always want to, I'm saying this is like a bi dude. Like sometimes it behooves oneself to go out in something a little more conservative.
Right.
you know? um yeah.
I did like that you pointed out that someone gets their neck attacked at some point. Another character in the next scene, it's like wearing a turtleneck.
Hey, I'm hypersensitive to neck shit now. So we're gonna dial this up a little bit. We're gonna, a little layer never hurt anybody, like just in case.
But
Incidental slashes happen in horror all the time. I get it.
that is also like another part of the costume design, like you were talking about. Like
Yeah.
that's so subtle, but that's so real, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's real. And the dialogue in this movie really just like pulls off each one of those characters for that
The
too.
writing is insane. And I mean that in the best way possible. Like the way that this is something that I harp on a lot. Like people who have listened to me talk about writing and letting characters play will know where I'm coming from with this. But this feels like the perfect example of what it's like to write a handful of characters and put them in a space, a little sandbox, and watch them play together. Like
Mhm.
how they would just interact with each other based on how well written and how well designed these characters are from a persona standpoint. And a lot of the, like you're saying, the dialogue feels so organic. It feels like this is exactly what the response to that would be. There was even a scene where we were watching it where I was like, oh, not today, not today. And it's like a second later the dude verbally says what I'm, because it makes sense. That's what you would say in that moment, And I love it when writers have, the like insight to be able to say this is what people sound like. This isn't me trying to flex my vocabulary or tell and not show aspects of the plot through dialogue. Like, let's just let them play, let them
Mhm.
do their thing, and it's going to be fine.
Yeah, 100%. And it's funny too that like you say that because like on the outside of that, like with the exterior interactions, like it felt like with that in mind, everybody felt like they knew each other. And
Yeah.
and it's like, well, duh, they're acting. It's like, no, like they actively felt like these people were hanging out
Yeah.
outside of this film, and they just put them all in the movie together.
Yeah, right.
And maybe that is the case because it is in Ohio. So
Was it Lakeview? Is that the town? I saw a couple of.
I saw Cleveland at one point. All I know is you can't make it on your own.
Oh.
Not when your heart's in Ohio.
Mm-hmm. I would continue, but I think we would need a warning. And I don't.
Come on.
Yeah. So I can fall asleep tonight or die.
Or die.
Or die.
Oh,
How many nights has that been the truth? Let's talk about Hawthorne Heights. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, while we're on costume design, we got
Gotta
to talk about the
villain,
stud.
the stud,
The stud.
which
Which is
perfect name. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure when Roger told us that I was in fucking tears.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
and you guys can probably see it on the screen. Here he's right here.
yeah.
Um he's covered in studs. And it is like and I remember telling him too, like, this is like the gayest slasher that I've ever seen.
And also,
The most badass like iteration. And I meant gay as in like gay.
yeah, right. Non-derogatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was it was just one of those things where it's like this is such like a fucking battle suit, man. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's something about like all of the studs. But then there's the spikes and the mask is so unique. And it's funny because like when you look at it and you look at the concept of the movie, it's like, oh well duh.
Yeah.
But tell me another time where we've ever seen that before.
Right.
And it's innovative, it's cool, it's fun, it's exciting. Like I really loved the whole vibe of the slasher.
Do you remember the biker gang from Mandy?
Oh, yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. Was that demon biker kind of
Okay.
horny metal? You know, like where they're drinking whatever they were in Mandy, and you were like, I think that's cum. Yeah, that's what it reminded me of.
The amount that I say that. What are you drinking other than fucking jizz?
Jizz. See, I've got it memorized. I'm drinking the beer that you bought first of all. So,
Well, that was your first mistake.
yeah, it is Coors Light.
Um,
These mountains are blue.
First of all, the king himself, Derek fucking Worley,
Yeah, dude.
right?
Yeah, dude. The Wurlitzer.
The Wurlitzer. So we're talking about a script that was written, and this is like one of my favorite things for people to do with slashers is not having them confined to one weapon and having like that the multi strategy.
Yeah.
And,
The utilitarian, right? The guy that can just grab something that looks lethal and go to work.
or the guy that's just here for the fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there is a scene, and not to get into it, where he hits or the stud hits somebody with the bat, and they're like, "Oh, I'm on the ground now." And let's just say he puts the bat down.
Yeah. This scene, because I know what you're talking about, for listeners, got auto nominated for a couple of Under the Floorboards awards. And I'm thinking we're thinking best special effects and best kill. Just
That one hit top pretty fucking quickly.
that was like, oh fuck yeah, dude.
And that's with some crazy fucking kills we've already seen
Right.
here. Like we have seen some pretty fucking wild shit.
That like the auto nomination was wild. How we both kind of looked at each other. It was like in, not to reference K-pop Demon Hunters again, but it was when we looked at each other and our souls started glowing, and then like we started cheering. You know what I mean? Our Han Moon was getting united under this stuff. Because it was brutal and it was amazing at the same time. We both like audibly were like, that looks fucking incredible. Derek Worley, holy shit, dude. Never disappoints.
No, it doesn't. And like, and to attest to that even more, that might have been our favorite out of it.
Yeah.
But it didn't end there.
No, that wasn't even close to the big one. Like it just, in the words of Limp Bizkit, keep on rolling, baby. You know, like
yeah, but the kills that are in this movie are fucking diabolical.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Because I love the way that it references something about the character, you know, and you see these little like sequences where when the character is dying, they have like, you know, there's some imagery that's going on that's kind of hinting at what they're experiencing based on past experience and things like that. And I loved the artistry and the creativity of that, where like, because it reminded me a little bit, this is super like like pseudo intellectual, but it reminded me a little bit of like Dante's Inferno, where like what your shit is what you get punished with
Yeah.
in a way, you know. And I thought that was very cool to see that.
Yeah. There was something that I don't want to bring up because I don't want to spoil, but there is a parallel of vengeance that you see between this movie and V for Vendetta that
Yeah.
I thought was really,
Yeah, yeah.
really fucking cool and ironic and fun. And it's one of those things that you will have to watch the movie to know that, because it is like, like it's not even like one of those things where it's like on the nose, but it is, you
It
know.
well, it's if you know kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Um, and yeah, I just like the violence in this movie was so, it was so good.
It was great.
But the thing too is like a lot of that was so uh uplifted really by the editing too. Like the special effects looked incredible, but they're like the way that they use some of the visual effects in these scenes, and they use light distortion and I don't really know what it's called, but like
Yeah, the flares and shit like
yeah,
that were
yeah, like
yeah,
especially in the locker room scene,
yeah.
that flaring looked incredible.
My boy,
My boy.
my living Adonis narcissist. I won't say his name, but he's far and away my favorite character in this movie. He was so fucking funny. The most believable and yet satirical, like Jim Bro.
That in and of itself already makes this movie so worth watching. Like it's so visually
It's
appealing.
captivating, dude.
Yeah.
You can't look away from it. And again, like I know that's kind of like a cliche to say about a movie that is very like visual heavy, but there's so much more to this movie that is beyond the visual. There's a lot of substance to it. There's a lot of underlying themes and subtext and things that are going on too. And I hated that I had to pee so many times because I feel like the pausing broke the tension a little bit, but it was like it's paced very well. I again
The coverage was
the
great.
coverage is fantastic. The decision to keep the plot moving in certain points and to let it linger a little bit longer was also something that, like, if I'm honest, I can tolerate it. You know,
Hmm.
it's it works in the cut that we received.
Yeah.
you know, because it was just shit was just moving, and
Mhm.
and it reminded me a little bit of like Terrifier 2 in that way, where we're like, oh, it's not 90 minutes, but it also fucking moves, and you're like
Right.
not. That's what I mean when I say I can tolerate it. Like it worked
Hmm.
for what the story is being told and what we're seeing and what we're getting. Um, and I like, how much can we go into like the characters? Because did you have anybody that stood out for you or any performances that stood out for you that you want to talk about or highlight?
Well, the first thing I do want to say, like before we get, because I do want to talk about some of the characters just because I think they're cool. But the last thing I really kind of want to say just about the film in general is I really like watching a movie that isn't about me. And
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm like learning about another culture, or I see something that's like, oh, my friend is like that, my friend is like this, and there are friends that like I don't understand in the capacity that like I can't understand
Sure.
that side
Different
of things.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's really really cool to see, and then I think that's what storytelling is supposed to be about, is seeing that other side of life. I don't need to see the main character be some straight white dude that saves the golden haired mistress every
For
fucking
you to have
time.
permission to like the movie.
Yeah.
You don't, yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's the thing, is like that part of the community is already so open to anybody,
absolutely.
but it's one of those things where I never felt like I needed permission. I just felt like I had I got to see the perspective, and
Yeah.
that's the biggest part of storytelling to me.
100% to do it in an accessible way
Yeah,
that doesn't
exactly.
feel like exclusive to this community, but it also doesn't feel like it's forcing you into it either. It's just this is right-handed God. This is the way that it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And,
Yeah.
and I'm sure this movie will get some level of hate just for like,
The thematic elements.
and there being
Yeah.
penises in it.
Yeah.
Because it's just like,
Well, and I want to talk about that. I do want to, before we move into the characters, I want to talk about the dicks. Um, because one of the things that we talked to Roger about and seeing it come to fruition helps his explanation of this ring a lot truer. Horror has a history of kind of exploiting the female body for views, for sex appeal, for selling tickets, for whatever. And I love that it took that idea of exploiting the not I say that tongue in cheek, but like we're gonna do it with dudes. Like there was a scene where you're like, if that had been a woman, that would have been like boobs pressed up against the glass or whatever, instead of butt cheeks. You know what I mean? Instead of like a dick print on a window or something like that. And it's funny because it's such a fuck you. This is what it looks like from the other side. This is worth talking about too, but it's also effective because it kind of makes you think like hypersexualization of human beings in horror movies and things like that for the sake of doing so kind of feels a little weird when the rubber band's on the other claw all of a sudden, right? And I
gay.
and I think that that's very progressive
Yeah, 100%.
because it's like, how that makes you feel. Okay, that's how that makes the other group feel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the perspective that not to put words into your mouth, but I think that that's the perspective that this film offers.
No, I think that's 100% true.
Yeah.
And it's again like it's one of those things that as a heterosexual male, guys, like there were a lot of dicks in the movie, and I gotta tell you, I really wasn't bothered by it.
Right.
Like
As a man with a dick.
they're like, well, John says he's straight.
No.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not afraid of penises since I have one.
Yep. You can look at dicks and not be gay.
Yeah, because I guarantee, I guarantee you, it's the same incels that are watching porn.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
that are experimenting with gay porn.
Not even that. I'm just talking about so like Ron White really put it the best, where he was just like talking to some dude. He's like, "Man, I don't like that gay shit in porn and this, that, and the other." And he's like, "Well, let me ask you this: when you're watching a man and a woman have sex, you watch porn, right?" He goes, "Hell yeah, I do." Well, when you're watching a man and a woman have sex, do you want them to have like a tiny penis, or? And he just goes, "No, I want them to have long, hard, throbbing." Oh my god!
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Exactly. You're again entering a sphere of hypersexualization where things are almost anomaly isn't the word I want to say, but like things are almost exaggerated.
Sure.
Right.
And of course they are.
Of course they are. Yeah. Because why wouldn't they be? Because this in and of itself is an exaggerated take on reality. It's horror.
Right.
And it goes back to the point that we've been talking about this whole time where horror is inherently queer.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot of, towing that line between straight and queer in horror.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, without getting onto that horse, because I don't know that we have time to go into that 10-minute conversation, but
we don't. And the best part, and here's my thing to people out there. I can wholeheartably say that I don't have the best understanding sexuality, gender, all of that kind of stuff, right? Because I'm a straight male, right? I don't need to have that understanding. What I do is respect other fucking people that have it and have like, if somebody tells you that they have a pronoun, why do you care? Just call them that.
Yeah. It doesn't affect your day at all.
Or if it's so fucking hard for you to remember that, just call them by their name.
Yeah.
Because they'll tell you their name.
Right. 100%.
It's just so fucking simple, and I'll never understand that. Like, and I feel like I understand that even less. Like, giving a shit about that. Like I said, I don't understand sexuality, but I understand even less why someone would give a shit that somebody feels that way.
It's the same reason you don't like being called Johnny.
Yeah, well, that's because that's reserved for people that have sex with me.
Right. See, you do understand sexuality and names.
I did say I understood names. Let's get that straight. But yeah, let's get into a couple of,
character.
yeah, let's get
Yeah,
into a
yeah.
couple of these characters. There's a couple that I don't want to spoil. Like Dante, I don't want to spoil. Um, I will say, uh, Caitlin Newberry, absolutely incredible. I love her in everything that I've seen. Definitely check out some of her work. Um, she is this movie's bisexual butterfly catalyst.
Yep.
And kind of
Which
hallelujah.
nice being seen. I appreciate that.
um, it is interesting the commentary that they kind of give to her on her journey
Yeah.
throughout it, and it's funny because it is from a gay perspective, so it's cool. It's a really cool look for her. And she was one of my favorite characters, honestly. I thought she was one of the most grounded. I thought she was funny. I thought the dialogue was good. I would have liked to seen more of her in the film.
Mm,
Um, but when she was on, she was always on.
mm,
Let's see. Let's talk about Cody Steele for a minute, who played Noah.
cool.
Noah was an incredible character to follow.
Yeah.
You want to talk about one hell of a journey, and having someone who has a very particular perspective and goes from the party and play gay to adult like that.
Mm-hmm.
And everything fucking changes, and that night that they talk about changes everybody
Mm-hmm.
from that perspective. And it was really crazy to follow Noah through that, I felt like.
It was cool to see him. Noah, uh, again, light spoiler, is who I would consider the focal point of this movie.
Oh, he is the lead. We can definitely say that.
Yeah, yeah.
Noah's the lead character.
And watching that version of the classic hero's journey was very cool. Very, very fun for me because that was a different angle on it. And like, sexuality aside, I think that this was a really interesting take on the hero's journey because it shows somebody who is reluctant basically the whole time, right? But is also capable of standing up for themselves when they need to.
Yeah.
Is also strong, is also strong-willed.
So let me ask you this about Noah.
Yeah.
Do you think that he takes on that persona of the classic Greek tragedy, or is he too strong for that? I feel like we do follow the idea that he is always doing what he thinks is best, whether it be the best or not. But I feel like he's almost a stronger character that bad shit just happens to.
I feel like that's the case to a degree, but I also see somebody who adapts. And adaptation is the key to a final girl.
Sure. Well, that's what I'm saying.
What I mean?
So does that take him out of the Greek tragedy? Like as far as like the classic sense of that.
I don't think he's the person that the Greek tragedy happens to in this movie.
Okay.
And that's my understanding of what that term means.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also because I see somebody who constantly wheels and deals and
Mm-hmm.
fights forward. In a tragedy, I can't really answer that question without spoiling
Sure.
the answer that
Yeah.
I want to give, but it's closer.
Save it for the full episode.
We'll save it for the full episode, but tragedy isn't how I would describe Noah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Noah is a fucking winner at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It just has that, like I said, that final girl energy, that refusal to, I don't care if it's me or somebody else, I'm going to fight. You know what I mean?
100%.
That kind of shit. And I like that from Noah because Noah has every reason to quit multiple times.
Yeah. 100%.
And he just doesn't. And I love that from the bye bro.
Other character I wanted to talk about is Kaylee, who actually plays Noah's sister. It feels at times that she is a plot device, but that doesn't mean that her performance was any less than.
Yeah.
And I felt like, again, the dialogue we were talking about earlier has a sense of realism to it, and I felt like the way that she was built and the way that she portrayed that was really like this loving sister to a degree that the film kind of needed, right?
Yeah. It's that I care, but I also have to be the heavy sometimes too.
To be the heavy.
Yeah. I need to be the one that's gonna tell you your shit is fucked and you have to fix this. You
Yes.
know, and I love that from a friend arc in a story, but I especially love it from a sibling arc.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's really important.
So I'm not going to say the next actor's name,
Okay.
but I hope that they're listening to this. Um, so there is a monologue that happens at the very end of the film, and actress, whatever, that pulls it off. I mean, it was menacing. It was heart wrenching. It was emotional. It was
Yeah.
everything that you wanted out of a whodunit film.
Yeah.
It was diabolical. It was vengeful. It was, and like the portrayal from this actor was like, and I've seen him in some stuff already, so I wasn't surprised
Mm.
by how well that they did. But it's like we were talking about with Molly Souza
Yeah.
in
In Grind.
Grind. It was great to see her have that much room, and it was nice to see this actress have that much room to kind of spread their wings.
Yeah.
And I am so excited for people to see that performance. That was actually my favorite part.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
I mean, there was a lot of really cool things that happened in this movie, but I was like locked
Mm-hmm.
in during this part.
Yeah. I agree. I want to talk about this a little bit more in depth, but I don't think that I can. And I will simply say it kind of reminds me of a sort of Joker-esque character. I know that's cliche to compare it, but it's that this is what I've become because of the world.
The one bad day
You know what I
kind
mean?
of
This
thing.
is what
Yeah.
the world made me into.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a beautiful place for, this person to be coming from in the context of the film, because it not only provides motivation, but it also provides context and, dare I say, a little sympathy, you know,
100%. And
because I'm not sure I wouldn't have done the same thing.
there are a couple lines that get delivered throughout this that hit so
Yeah.
fucking hard. And again, like the movie is fun, but I like having that emotional roller coaster. And
Having a
I felt
moment
like
that
that.
allows itself to be serious for just
Yeah,
a fucking couple minutes, and it just, you know what I mean. And
everyone's just off.
yeah,
Fuck.
yeah, this is like high art. It's quite meta.
It's quite meta, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, this film
Is gay.
is fucking gay. And thank God for that.
We needed one.
We needed one. And
Yeah.
there's more coming. From actually the same area, as a
Fuck
matter of
yeah.
fact. A lot of gays in that there, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
But
Not much going on in Ohio. Might as well have sex and explore yourself and explore others.
with a diamond studded dildo.
Yeah.
Or
Butt
sorry,
plug.
butt plug.
Butt plug.
Sorry. Diamond studded
My
butt
butt plug will be covered in diamonds.
Well, for all the updates on Meat, be sure to check us out on Instagram as well as the Scream Queer. And actually, what are we doing?
Shout him out.
We keep talking about him because I'll
up.
say we keep talking about him because we're friends.
What's his name?
Roger Connors. Roger Connors.
I'm going to do one of these. You can insert a clap track there.
The writer director of Meat. Also co-written by Zachary Shaldwatcher.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, congratulations. Like, making a movie is already fucking hard. Making a short film is fucking hard. So like,
making one that means something
is so much.
Yeah.
So like, seriously, congratulations to you and your team. I know that there are countless hours that were put into this and are still being put into this.
Absolutely.
Um, and I'm glad that so they sold out for their premiere,
Congratulations
which
again.
was incredible. Congratulations on that. Well deserved. Um, I am so excited to see the adventures that you have in store, especially with maybe Meat 2 double pounding. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll speculate on titles off screen.
Twice
and,
twice bitten, once shy.
and then send them all to you.
But you really created something beautiful, and I think that people are going to receive this very well. And I'm excited for a lot of people to see it because, as we've come to find out, we don't always post pre-screeners that we get. So
Yeah.
this is one that
And this was a treat.
we
So thank you.
yes, honey. This one was so much fun. And again, we hope that it's well received. I'm sure it will be. But not just on the alphabet community, but more so like the rest, like everyone receives this really well.
Yeah. As hard as they can receive it.
Raw. Tushy. Raw. Eric, do you have anything else?
Nothing I can say on this one. There's a lot else I want to say, but you're going to have to wait till after the release and when we do the full episode.
I was going to say, we're not going to use protection on the next episode. So we're going in raw. Well, guys, thank you so much. Oh, also, again, follow the Scream Queer on Instagram. Follow us at Under the Floorboards and check out the Meat movie. So we will keep y'all posted on where and when you can watch it. If it is coming to a festival near you, make sure to check it out. And until then, thank you for joining us once again. Where it creaks, it cracks, and we laugh at the creatures that go bump in the night, honey. Good night, everybody.